Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Eric with SweetSpotDFS, and this is my DFS review for the 2022 Mexico Open. Now, this is going to be a typical review because we don't have a bucket system to look at, but we're still going to review the sweet spot process to see how well we did and how well we didn't. Plus, we have a giveaway to run because we finally hit our goal of 350 subscribers. So it took us like 5 or 6 weeks, but we finally got there. Someone is going to win $20. So why don't we just go ahead and jump right into that portion of it? We had, I think, 105 entries, and it spanned all the way back to the match play. I think the Valspar was the last tournament we ran where we had a giveaway. So we've had this 350 subscribers for a while. And I decided to extend it all the way to the Masters. If you recall, I was going to shave off $5 every single week we didn't hit the goal. So, and then once we got to $10, then I would just run the giveaway for $10 wherever we were with the goal, and then I just create a new goal. Well, I extended it. We're here now. It's $20. Got it all the way through to the Mexico Open, like I said. So let's go ahead and run that giveaway. Now, if I just hit Y here, it's going to produce a winner up here. It's all formula driven based off of a random formula. So let's see who our first, or let's see who our only winner is. Jim Lemoyne. Now, I gotta say this. Congratulations, Jim. Jim has put in a ton of time, like leaving comments on all of my videos. I couldn't be happier to have Jim win it. I obviously have a lot of my regulars that constantly chime in and leave comments. Again, if you want entries into this giveaway, I hold them for as long as it takes for us to hit the goal. And Jim, I'll tell you this right now. I think if you go through this whole list, Jim is on every single video that he could possibly put his name on. He's also shared it on every single thing of Twitter. So I couldn't be happier for Jim to win. Congratulations, Jim. I'm going to put you in the past winners. Actually, Jim, this is your second time winning. I didn't notice that before, but congratulations. I believe the two Jasons here have not yet claimed their prize. It was $10. So if either of you guys are watching, you still have $10 available to you guys. I think everyone else has collected. And by the way, you need to be present. You got to watch this video and notice that your name was called. You got to reach out to me at SweetSpotDFS@gmail.com. So Jim, please do that. We'll figure out. Actually, I might have your information before. I'll reach out to you. I think I still have your information. But either way, you would have to leave me your, for the two Jasons, leave me your preferred way of getting paid, whether it's through Venmo, PayPal, whatever, and I'll send you your money that way. But yeah, Jim won. I always do this whenever I type someone's name in. Just have to show you that if I were to type a number here and hit enter, it just changes because that's how the random function works. So, Jim wins. That means everybody is going to get erased from here, and we're going to start anew. If you didn't already notice, the new giveaway or the new goal is to get to 400 subscribers. So what we're going to do, I forgot to even put on the what it's going to be worth. It's going to be worth $30. So when we can get to 400 subscribers by the this next week, the Wells Fargo Championship, that Sunday, if we reach 400 subscribers, someone's going to win $30. But I'm going to shave away $5 each week we don't hit our goal until we get to 10, and then I'm going to run my giveaway then. So hopefully you guys understand that. We're trying to get as many subscribers, and again, I want to reward you guys for participating, being subscribed to the channel, and of course, I want to grow the channel. That's why we have these goals, and it's a what's the word I'm looking for? Oh my goodness, I can't think of it. Anyways, I just want to get as many people to the channel as possible and reward you for helping me do that. So incentive, that's the word we're looking for, incentive. Okay, well, we might as well go ahead and get into a recap of this tournament. John Rahm is your winner. Then we have a few people tied in second. Tony Finau had a phenomenal round Sunday. I think he was 7 under or 8 under. Got himself all the way up into second place. He almost missed the cut. So really interesting to see Tony Finau in second. And then a good slew of golfers here in the top 10. Now, before we get into the GPP winner versus the optimal and also the SweetSpot score and the marquee tee times, I decided to try a strategy that I deployed 2 weeks ago. If you recall, I was going to pick 2 golfers and go 90% in on them, if not 100. I ended up choosing 90%. My 2 guys were Aaron Wise and Jon Rahm. Now, my whole rankings also put me on guys like Kurt Kitayama, Davis Riley, David Lipsky, Alex Smalley. I chose not to play Cameron Champ because he was in the same Thursday-Friday tee time as Jon Rahm. And I can't remember the other guy. We'll talk about it when we get there. So I decided not to play Cam Champ, which I'm glad it worked out in my favor. Jon Rahm ended up winning. I had a really good lineup. I had 5 golfers inside the top 11, including Jon Rahm, including Aaron Wise. But unfortunately, if you follow the Fantasy Golf guys, I was on that this last Thursday, and I talked about how I used Jish Swish's model that he has on his Twitter. It got me on Kramer Hickok and Tyler Duncan, and I basically went 50% in on both of those guys. They were my 7,200 play. I think they're both 7,200. One might have been 73 or 74. I can't remember. They both missed the cut. And Kramer Hickok was the guy that was on that lineup that had all top 11s on it. The 5 out of 6 that had top 11s. It scored 573 points, I think, if I recall. So yeah, I think if I put it in the $5, I would have been 83rd place or something like that with 5 of 6. So unfortunately, we didn't get there. But anyways, yeah, it was a good week. We or at least the sweet spot process got us on the right golfers. Now, let's go ahead. Let's talk about the optimal lineup versus the GPP winning lineup. I'm just going to hide the information that does not matter. It shouldn't matter to you guys. Looking at the optimal, it used up $49,300. The GPP winning lineup score or used up $50,000. Now, all the little black tick marks you see here are part of the optimal lineup. The golfers that are highlighted in blue are a part of the $5 winning GPP lineup. So let's go over that GPP winning lineup. Jon Rahm, Brandon Wu, Kurt Kitayama, David Lipsky, Cameron Champ, and then a guy in 33rd place, Emiliano Grillo. It scored 639.5 points. Now your optimal was Jon Rahm, Brandon Wu, Kurt Kitayama, Davis Riley, David Lipsky, and Alex Smalley. So 4 golfers that the GPP winner had were in the optimal lineup. So it was a great lineup. Obviously, they win the $5 GPP, but there was room for all of us to overtake first place. Again, that $5 scored 635.5, 639.5. I think I said that, but in case I didn't. And the optimal scored 667.5. So there's like 30 points difference that we could have made up to take down the GPP winning lineup. And it used over 49,000, so it all matches the sweet spot process. We want to get it as close to 50 as possible, but we never want to go less than 49,000. So that was your optimal versus the $5 GPP winner. Let's go ahead. Let's dive into the sweet spot ranks as well as the marquee tee times. So let's first sort by rank. I'm going to hide this column here because it's just redundant. You see the names already. Hey, how about this? I'm going to go back to that $5 GPP winner, or back to this page. I kind of mentioned I wanted to find guys who top 20 last week because I thought it was going to be important. And I also wanted to find guys who missed the cut and did not play. I wanted one of each. If you recall in the strategy video, Davis Riley finished 4th at the Zurich. So too did David Lipsky. So we had 2 guys who finished top 20 at the Zurich Classic, that team event, but also they finished top 10 and top 5 as well. So maybe something to look at, because if you recall, we talked about that in the strategy. Well, actually, it was a preview / strategy video that even with the team play, the next tournament, there were golfers that were in the top 10 of those tournaments that had a top 10, top 20 from the Zurich Classic. So here we go. Yeah, that same trend is going on. So obviously next year, when whatever tournament follows the Zurich, we'd want to probably include a top 10 or a top 20. But then here we go with the missed cut in Alex Smalley. It's probably why my process picked Alex Smalley quite a bit. I also just liked him in general to do well. And obviously we had a bunch of guys, including John Rahm, that just didn't play the Zurich Classic. Tony Finau, Aaron Wise, Cameron Champ. So we followed those 3 picks. You know, at least pick one top 20 from last week, one missed cut, and one golfer who didn't play. We were on the right track. And sure enough, it ended up working out. Now, going back to the sweet spot model, I sorted it by, you know, the rankings that I had. Now, what I want to see, let me do something really quick. I usually make this easy for myself, and it usually is sorted the correct way. So let's see if we do that. Yep, perfect. All right, let's sort it again. I just wanted to see the optimal lineups. It just makes it easier. So in these ranks, in the top 20, what I would like to see is at least 4 golfers. I shouldn't say at least. I want to see 4 golfers inside the top 20 that are in the optimal lineup. I don't. And I know it's difficult to forecast that kind of stuff, but I would like to somehow get to that moment, if possible. Maybe it isn't possible, but we had John Rahm and Davis Riley. Those were the only 2 guys inside the top 20. You see 19 golfers on the screen. If I scroll down to 20th place, that's Charles Howell III. We still only have 2. So in a way, it didn't work out for us. However, we do see 1, 2, 3, 4 top 10s, 5 top 20s. Still not great, but we only have 2 missed cuts that are on this page, which is a good thing. I do like seeing that. So although it didn't really hit for me like the way that I would like it to, I'm not disappointed. Like, I'm not super upset. And a lot of, 3 of our other optimal lineup golfers are inside the top 40, which in its own right is a good, that's pretty decent. The optimizer is using these rankings. It's going to select those golfers at a pretty high rate. So it was okay. Now, what I like to do from here is basically sort by game. So I want to see what the Thursday, Friday tee times were. And if you recall, this is how we also figure out what the marquee tee times were. Now, we only had 4 marquee tee time pairings. All the golfers here in the dark green, right where the ranking column is, dark green fill and the black font, those were the quote-unquote marquee tee times. Now, I made the case that you wanted to select at least one of these guys, because the rule of thumb is you divide the marquee tee times by 2 to find the optimal lineup golfers you want to put in your lineup, or the amount of golfers you want to put in your lineup. So how that would look is we have 4 marquee tee times, right? Well, we want to select 2 golfers then. That was what my logic was. But of course, and I said this in the strategy video, I've done this a long time where I know if it's an even number like that, I don't really like it. You want to, I didn't say this in the video, but now that I've thought about it, 0.5 both ways. You want a 1 point difference. So either you wanted 1.5 or 2.5. I know that really doesn't make sense. It really just means you want somewhere between 1 to 3 golfers to select from. And usually when it's, 4, like that's a really low number. I would choose somewhere between 1 to 2 golfers. And again, I said this in that previous strategy video. So if you don't believe me, you can always go back and hear me say that. John Rahm was the only guy in these marquee tee times that were in the optimal lineup. Now, Cameron Champ was super close. He obviously could have gotten there if he probably would have made a birdie on the last hole instead of a par. He did par that par 5 coming in. He also missed the all rounds under 70 bonus by 1 shot. Again, if he birdies that last hole, he would have been a top scorer. And he probably would have slipped into the optimal lineup. Now, here's the other thing that I always tell you guys too. With these marquee tee times, or just with the tee times in general, never select 2 golfers from the same group or more. Always select 1. And we're just playing, we're playing the percentages. have there been past tournaments where in these groupings we've seen more than one golfer be in the optimal lineup? Yes, absolutely. Like there was if John Rahm and Cameron Champ would have been the optimal lineup together throughout the last year that I've done this, it would have only marked the third time that happened. So you can think of like 52 plus weeks of reviewing this and only seeing 3 times of it happening. Play your percentages and just don't do it. I honestly, it wouldn't have mattered to me if Rahm and Champ were in the optimal lineup. Yes, I am chasing the optimal lineup all the time, but no, I'm going to stick to my strategies. And if that were to happen, sure, it's the 1 week that it happens and I don't get the optimal lineup. I don't get, like, there's no way of me actually getting the optimal lineup. But again, this kind of proves the point. You can't hit the optimal lineup picking those 2 golfers. Now, the GPP winning lineup had these 2 golfers in it. So you can always make that argument saying, yeah, okay, we don't always have to hit the optimal lineup if we want to win money. Yeah, absolutely. You don't have to. But that's not the purpose of me talking about fantasy golf. I'm always trying to hit the optimal lineup. So I'm using all the tools, all the things that I've learned, and I know I don't want to select 2 golfers from the same group. So John Rahm, your only optimal lineup golfer. We also see Davis Riley in the honorable mentions up here. He was the only guy from his group, and that's it. That's all we had out of the 10, honorable mention groups that I selected. Only 2. So it also kind of goes to show that with a low strength of field event, I don't even know if there's a such thing as a marquee tee time, except for, the top end guys. Because we're talking about Davis Riley, Kiradech Afi Barnrat, and Lee Hodges as an honorable mention group. When would they ever be in an honorable mention group with a higher strength of field? It's probably never. Aaron Wise, Nate Lashley, JT Poston. Poston's usually a 6K golfer. Lashley fluctuates between a 6 and a 7K golfer. And Aaron Wise is in the 9K range, which we've seen him before, but he's typically like an 8K golfer, sometimes even in the 7Ks. Like if this was the Memorial Tournament or like a US Open, a US Open, he'd probably be like in the 6K range. But either way, when we see a lower strength of field, it doesn't surprise me that these honorable mention groups don't produce, decent players or decent results, decent finishes. So really, that's all that I have for the review. Like I said, there's no bucket system to look at. I told you we wanted someone who played the week before and had a top 20, a missed cut, and then someone who didn't play. Those were basically my only technical bucket system rules that I wanted you guys to follow, that I ended up following, and it worked out. It was good. So like I said, I had a bunch of John Rahm, I had a bunch of Aaron Wise lineups. Those were my 2 guys that I had in most of my lineups, but I could not hit the right 7K. And when I review this, I went a lot with, like I told you, Tyler Duncan, who missed the cut, and I went with Kramer Hickok. There he is. These 2 missed the cut. So if I could have, pivoted to like a Brandon Wu, or even, Kurt Kitayama was in a lot of my lineups, so I couldn't say pivot to Kurt Kitayama. But I guess if I would have went to Brandon Wu in the lineups that I could have without going over the salary cap, that would have been perfect. Yeah, I had a bunch of Alex Smalley, David Lipsky. You can see they're ranked 29, 34th in my model. Grayson Sig was 19th. I know the optimizer selected him a bunch. So yeah, all in all, it was good. I liked the anchoring with 2 guys. I think I'm going to continue to try that. I kind of did 3 this week, if I'm being quite honest, because I either wanted the optimizer to select Tyler Duncan or Kramer Hickok. So I did that in 90% of my lineups. 10% of them didn't. I also went John Rahm with some of those guys with different duos. So I went like John Rahm with Brendan Todd, John Rahm with Russell Knox, which I think missed the cut, and Rahm with another 9K golfer. Who was it? Matt Jones, who finished 59th. So out of one of those lineups, I had a full 6 of 6. So I only had one 6 of 6 lineup. Again, it's because Kramer Hickok and Tyler Duncan screwed me, which just goes to show, do not rely on golfers like Tyler Duncan and Kramer Hickok in the 7K range. Just not smart. I've learned my lesson. I won't do it again. But yes, that is all that I have for you guys on this review. I didn't really get to watch much of the tournament, so I'm not going to even talk about it. I just know John Rahm could have lost it at the end, but didn't. He ended up winning, obviously. And we're all happy. I mean, he should have won this tournament, and so he did. Anyways, just a reminder, giveaways. This isn't even an updated one. It's going to be $30 to get to 400 subscribers. So, I mean, hey, if you guys know people who aren't yet subscribed, or if you're listening, then you're not yet subscribed, subscribe. And then comment on any of my videos so you can get some entries into winning the giveaway, which will be $30, not $20 as it says on the screen. It will be $30, and I will shave $5 off each week we don't hit the goal until we hit 10, and then I'll run the giveaway then. And also, there were no prize picks giveaways. It's unfortunate. I haven't seen anybody sign up in a very, very long time. Hey, if you want to try it out, I'm giving you $20 just by signing up. There's a link in the description, using the promo code SweetSpot and putting $20 in your account. You have to make that initial deposit, plus prize picks will match that deposit, so you'll get $40. And once I get that report back, I'm going to give you your $20 back. So you're going to play it for free, and you'll have $40 in your account. It's a fun way to play, easy. I do videos every Wednesday night for my prize picks and strategies for the week. Highly encourage you guys to go check it out because I do pretty decent on there. Those are the only giveaways. I always provide a cheat sheet for each tournament, so be prepared to see that with the preview tomorrow on the Wells Fargo Championship, and then also the optimizer. But that's all I have for you guys. So thank you guys for sticking around, watching this all the way till now. Appreciate you. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, bye.